Welcome to BBC London. This is what's on the programme tonight. A man from Lewisham may never be released from prison after being jailed for stabbing his pregnant girlfriend to death. He'd been released from prison after another life sentence for killing a teenager.
Nothing will bring my daughter back, but the thought that he won't be able to do this to anybody else, never be able to hurt anybody else again, justice has been served.
Our correspondent was in court to hear the sentencing. Also on the programme, we hear from residents who live on Prince Andrew Road. Some of them want the road stripped of its name. A London MP demands money earmarked for road improvements at his local council is spent on doing just that. And even the Prime Minister's got involved. And
later tonight, the skies behind me are going to be lit up with fireworks for the annual Alexandra Palace Bonfire Night Festival. Join me later to find out about some of the events taking place where you are.
Good evening, I'm Assad Ahmed. A man from Lewisham who last year stabbed his pregnant girlfriend to death has been sentenced and is unlikely to ever leave prison. Shane March stabbed pregnant Alana Odysseus multiple times at her flat in Walthamstow. They'd argued and he'd told her to get an abortion. It was the second time March had murdered. 25 years ago, he stabbed and killed a teenager. He'll now be nearly 90 years old before he's even considered for parole. Our Home Affairs correspondent Sonia Jessup was in court.
Alana Odysseus, described as caring and happy-go-lucky. She was in the early stages of pregnancy when she was repeatedly stabbed by her boyfriend. Her 2-year-old daughter was at home at the time.
She was just a ray of sunshine. No matter what problems she had going on, she'd always be there for each one of us, and she had such a huge heart.
Shane March pleaded guilty to Elena's murder earlier this month. Today, the court heard details of his violent history. In 2000, aged 21, he'd been jailed for life for the murder of a 17-year-old boy. He was released on licence 13 years later, but was recalled to prison after just a few months for assaulting another pregnant partner, stamping on her stomach. He was released again in 2018.
March refused to come to court today, eventually appearing via video link. The judge, Mr. Justice Murray, jailed him for life with a minimum term of 42 years. Not the whole life order that Elena's family had called for, but he said given his age, March may never be released.
During your trial, we heard evidence that Elena had confided in family and friends about your controlling and abusive behaviour towards her, including physical assaults and emotional manipulation. She was afraid of you, but she loved you still, and she hoped that you would change.
Nothing will bring my daughter back, but the thought that he won't be able to do this to anybody else, never be able to hurt anybody else again, justice has been served.
The court heard Elena was aware March was a convicted killer, but he told the probation services his relationship with her had ended and no further safeguarding checks were made.
It was stupid. They should never have let him out in the first place. They need to bring a harder punishment for all these attacks that are going on. And for women, there's women get attacked every day. And something needs to be done. They're a very big hole, it's never going to be filled. And I'm never going to get over this. Never.
Elena's family described her killer as a monster, a coward who had brutally taken her from them. All she'd wanted, they said, was to be loved. Sonia Jessup, BBC London.
You're watching BBC London. Here's a look at what's still to come on the programme. We go behind the scenes at Alexandra Palace as one of London's most popular fireworks displays prepares to light up. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor has had quite the week. After giving up his dukedom earlier this month, He's now had to give up his title of Prince and move from Royal Lodge in Windsor. Adding to it all are the residents of Prince Andrew Road and Prince Andrew Close in Maidenhead. They want a change too. Here's Chris Slegg.
Forced to leave the Royal Lodge and stripped of his titles, Prince Andrew is no longer Prince. But Prince Andrew Road in Maidenhead is, of course, still Prince Andrew Road. And Prince Andrew Close, which adjoins it, is still Prince Andrew Close. So this huge global news story with implications for the royal family also affects the residents of this quiet road in Maidenhead. It's believed Prince Andrew Road was named after the late Queen's second son when he was born in 1960. And some of the residents say the name is now so embarrassing that it has to be changed. Some residents have written to the council to see if the name can be binned and asked their neighbours to vote on the issue. No one who I spoke to who favours a name change was happy to appear on camera, but one did speak out of vision.
So some people might say, well, there's loads of bad men and women in the world who have the same name, who have buildings named after them, and they haven't been changed or destroyed and so forth. But I feel if we can, why not explore it?
About one of his neighbours leading the calls for change, John had this to say.
Appreciate where she's coming from, but I don't think she's thought through practicalities. I mean, changing your name on deeds of covenant, passports, wills. If she's going to pay for me to do all that, I might support her, but otherwise I don't think she's thought it out at all.
I feel that over many years, lots of roads are called after rogues, and over the years it fades away. For 60 years, this has been called Prince Andrew Road, and I see no reason for it to be changed.
Prince Andrew Road feels far from regal right now. Chris Slegg, BBC London.
A London bus driver has been suspended after a complaint was made about his alleged anti-Semitic behaviour towards a Jewish passenger. It's said to have happened on Monday in the Stamford Hill area of East London. Well, looking into this is Frankie McCamley. Frankie, tell us more.
Well, Assad, this incident is alleged to have happened on the 149 bus last week next to Dalston Junction station. Now, David Abraham said he boarded the bus in Stoke Newington. He then tapped his card, as you do when you board, that he accidentally dropped it and it fell into the driver's cab. Now, he said he moved to one side, let other people board the bus. He then went back to the driver to ask him to pass his bank card back. And this is what he said the driver said to him.
After I went to the driver, I asked him, I said, please, can I have my bank card? He just tell me, get out. I don't like Jewish people. You look like a Mossad agent. I said, why you say that? Why you say that? So I was shocked.
Well, after this back and forth, David said that he asked other passengers to help him. Some tried. One man even called the police. David then started filming.
I don't know if it disrespect everybody. Driver, they want to speak to you, driver. Driver, have some mercy, please. Driver, they want to speak to you. Hello, the driver don't want to speak at all.
Okay, what's the what bus is this?
It's bus 149. No, it's 67.
No, he changed the number. He changed it.
The bus 149, the one that goes from Edmond.
So as this was happening at Assad, David said lots of passengers were getting off the bus. He said he refused to leave because he wanted his card back and he wasn't going to leave until he got it. Now, so what he said happened next is the driver then locked the bus. He was locked on board for at least an hour until the officers arrived. The driver then allowed the officers to go into the cabin, pick up the card and hand it back to David. A day later, David said he reported this to the police as a hate crime. But now I spoke to him today and he says he's anxious, he's nervous and he's incredibly worried and scared following this.
Frankie, I have to ask, what have the bus company and the police had to say about all this?
Well, yeah, we've spoken to both. A spokesperson for Arriva Buses that runs that route, they've given us a statement and it reads, it is deeply distressing to hear about this incident and we can confirm we immediately launched an investigation as soon as it was reported to us and suspended the driver from duties. It goes on to say we are taking it extremely seriously and we will take all appropriate action once our investigation has concluded. The Met Police has also said it is investigating this incident.
Yeah, and we'll certainly keep across it. Frankie McCamley, many thanks. OK, we'll now look at some other stories making the headlines today. The Metropolitan Police says it'll be increasing its use of live facial recognition technology. It comes as the force said nobody who was incorrectly identified was arrested in the past year, but 80% of the people wrongly identified were black. A road flooded in Kentish Town today after an 18-inch water main burst between Leighton Road and Kentish Town High Street. It affected the basements of a medical centre and 10 homes. Thames Water say most homes are now reconnected. A section of the Thames Path which collapsed near Kew Gardens last year is to reopen following delayed repairs. The public haven't been able to use part of the walking and cycling route between Richmond Lock and Kew Gardens since it collapsed. It'll reopen next weekend. And lots more stories, latest updates as usual on your local BBC websites. Now, it's unusual for a problem about potholes to go all the way to Parliament. But that's what's happened in Bexley, with a local Labour MP saying he's visited every road in his constituency and he says he's reported every pothole he found. Daniel Francis says he did it to ensure the Conservative-controlled council was spending its money for repairing roads. And that's led to the Prime Minister also getting involved, as our political reporter Susana Mendonça can tell us.
Beware the things that go bump in the night and in the day when you're driving or riding over them.
Now I need to come off a motorbike, so I actually stopped riding my motorbike.
Because of potholes?
Because of potholes.
They're an inconvenience, very costly. We pay all our money for road tax, so, you know, where's the money being spent?
You wouldn't mind if it only took a month or two, but some of these holes there have been there for the best part of a year or more.
Yes, potholes are a nightmare for road users, and a row's been brewing in Bexley over whether the council has been fixing enough of them after the local Labour MP raised it in Parliament.
I visited every road across the Bexley and Crayford constituency reporting potholes to ensure the £895,000 given by this Labour government to the Conservative-controlled council in the London Borough of Bexley is spent.
My message to reinforce this is clear to the council. Use the money, fix the roads, show how you're carrying out repairs, or lose the money.
That threat hasn't gone down well with Bexley's Conservative leadership. They took us to Sidcup, where the council's in the process of resurfacing the high street. They insist they've been fixing around 2,500 potholes a year here and have accused the local MP of misinformation.
There is absolutely no justification for the government taking the money away. Bexley has a good record of spending the money it's given and looking after its roads, and the report that will be submitted to the government today will make that crystal clear.
Armed with a tool he made himself to measure potholes, the local MP showed us one of the worst offenders in his constituency. He rejects the Conservatives' claim that he's playing politics and putting pothole funding at risk.
The only people putting this money at risk is Bexley's Conservative councillors, because they're not spending the money. The conditions for every council are spend the money and you don't have to return it. Instead of spending all their energy writing letters about me to the newspaper, writing to the Prime Minister, spend that energy on filling these potholes and then you won't have to return a penny.
Potholes have long been political because voters can see them and literally feel them. And we have local elections fast approaching here in London, so for the government, talking tough on potholes gives them the opportunity to put across that narrative they've been pushing, that they're fixing a broken Britain. And for the Conservatives here in Bexley, they know that they've got a tough fight on their hands to hold on to this council next year, with threats from the right as well as from the left. And so they want to be seen to be talking about the issues and dealing with the issues that matter to local voters. The Department for Transport said it will decide whether Bexley gets the last 25% of its pothole funding after today's Halloween deadline for reporting its progress. Susana Mendonça, BBC London.
Sport now, and this weekend, the lowest ranked team in this season's FA Cup competition take on League One side Port Vale. To get to this first round match, Malden and Tiptree FC have had to win 6 straight games. So they've already done well, but they want to do even better. Well, Tom Williams spoke to the team's captain, who drives a London black cab for a living.
Jack lives life in the fast lane. Or maybe not, as a London cabbie battling traffic, part of the job. He works 2 days a week.
A lot of the people think the Thames is like a straight line.
Long shifts.
The traffic on the Strand isn't the best.
All alongside his other job as captain of Malden and Tiptree. On Sunday, they play in round 1 of the FA Cup.
And when you're driving round, are you thinking about the big game?
Yeah, it's been on my mind. It's been on my mind for the last couple of weeks, definitely. Excited. Obviously, we know it's going to be a really, really tough game, but we all believe.
The focus for Jack and his teammates at training this week, how to bridge the gap to their opponents who play 5 divisions higher.
Is there even more pressure on your shoulders this week than any normal week?
No, this is probably the first week there's no pressure. Look, the lads have been brilliant. We set this as a target to get the first round proper. We've done that, and we still want to progress, but it's a tough ask, isn't it, going to Port Vale away, but you just never know in the FA Cup.
As non-league clubs go, the Jammers are slightly different. A squad jam-packed full with professional experience, big spenders following the club's multi-million-pound takeover in February. They're top of their league.
Generally, we've got a hybrid system, so some of the players come in full-time. And then we've got, pros like Freddie Sears, Tom Eastman, that are now part-time, but we're able to offer them a good enough package to have a comfortable living.
They've come through 6 rounds just to get this far. The first round proper, live on television.
I think we've got the tag of the lowest ranked team in the FA Cup, which I can say I've never been part of before, which feels quite funny. This FA Cup run started back in August, so this is like our cup final, really.
They're on the road at Port Vale. They've safely navigated it this far. Can they make it to round 2 for the second time in their history? Tom Williams, BBC London.
Yeah, good luck to them. Now, lots of firework displays this weekend ahead of Bonfire Night on Wednesday. Among the country's biggest is at Alexandra Palace. It's a tradition going back generations, although now, as well as fireworks, there's a drone show too. It's always a great atmosphere there, and this afternoon, Lakshmi Gopal went.
Here at Alexandra Palace, the Bonfire Night fireworks have a proud tradition because they've been going on for a century and a half and continue today at a time when many public displays have been cancelled due to squeezed budgets. In a moment, I'll tell you about some of the firework events happening around London. But first, let me take you behind the scenes for a sneak peek at preparations ahead of this evening's event here. Skies around Alexandra Palace will be lit up with a spectacular fireworks display tonight, a celebration taking place here since the Victorian age. This is a snapshot of a display at the turn of the century before last, in 1900. This event poster of theirs dates even further back to 1888.
We've been doing fireworks for 150 years at Alexandra Palace. Part of our opening ceremony in 1873 there was fireworks, and we've been doing it November the 5th ever since. It's in the DNA of the building, it's in the DNA of the local area. Everybody around Haringey and this part of Alexandra Palace, they have fireworks parties on fireworks night, and then people come here in their thousands to celebrate Bonfire Night. So it's part of what we do. Firework displays have dwindled in recent years because of financial constraints. How do you keep it going? We reinvent ourselves. We do amazing things. We don't just do the fireworks display, we do the drones. Last year we brought drones in. They're a fantastic addition to the display. This year is going to be bigger and better than ever. But how do you keep that funding that's needed? People pay to come to the event, and it becomes a revenue generator for Alexandra Palace. And as we're a charity, that's an important part of our financial model, to have events like this to help keep the palace running for the people. While tickets might be a tad more than the bargain of 50 pence back in the 1980s, the offering has continued to grow beyond pyrotechnics, with this year including bands, DJs, a large beer festival, a fun fair, ice skating, ghost tours and food and drink stalls.
That's a lot of ice cubes needed. Although putting on such events comes with a big cost, it's argued it helps the local economy. While harder to quantify for the many local bonfire events, City Hall says the London New Year's Eve fireworks event returns £5 for every £1 spent. Back at Ali Pali, the prepping and setting up ramps up ahead of tens of thousands of people expected to attend on each night of the two-day festival. So those are the preparations ahead of the event taking place tonight at Alexandra Palace and tomorrow as well, with tickets £18 for adults and cheaper for children. But let's have a look now at some of the other events taking place across the area, starting with tomorrow, the 1st of November, when Blackheath fireworks will return for the first time since 2018. Financial constraints had meant it had been cancelled, but Lewisham Council announced just a few months ago that they were partnering with an events company to be able to make sure that they were on again this year. And then on Sunday, the 2nd of November, Richmond's annual fireworks are back. They take place at Richmond Athletic Ground. There's a fun fair and food and drink stalls as well. And then on the night itself, on the 5th of November, there is an event at Morden Park. There are actually 2 firework displays that night, with an earlier one for younger families. And then next week, on the 7th of November, there's an event at Totteridge Millhillians Cricket Club, where, as well as bonfire and fireworks, they also have bars, bands and fire pits. And then on the 8th of November at Byron Park, Harrow and Ruislip fireworks are taking place, where the 2 different events are combining into one for the first time this year. And there are plenty of other events taking place. Just go online to find out more near where you are, and remember to buy tickets in advance if you need to, and enjoy the view.
Yeah, Lakshman Gopal with that roundup there, and public firework displays are always by far and away the best places to go and see fireworks. Now, letters found in the attic of a Hackney social club during renovation works have revealed the reality of life on the front line of World War I, as well as the support the club gave to members who were called up to fight in it. The Mildmay Club decided to trace the ancestors of the letters and uncovered a mystery about the club secretary. Andrew O'Neill went to find out more.
Very many thanks for the parcel of eatables received today, which I assure you are a treat.
It's a letter Chris Highmore didn't know existed. It's from her late grandfather James from the front line of World War I, and it's being read to her by her grandson Tom.
It's nice to be having a holiday on the continent, living in a hut with all the inconveniences, gas and water, plenty of fresh air, and commanding a good view of the German lines.
A box of letters had been found in the loft of the Mildmay Club. I had never heard of the Mildmay Club, but apparently a letter from my grandfather was found in this box.
The Mildmay Club has a long history, with many of its members fighting in both world wars, but the letters were an unexpected find.
Around 4 years ago we started extensive renovation works, and this opened up a couple of attic spaces where we just found absolute stacks of archive material. Part of what the archive team, when they started digging and going through looking at this material, is how important the club was during the First World War.
My grandfather, James, he went to war, and apparently he was gassed at some stage, and that changed his personality.
The club's secretary, Ralph Manley, sent members like Chris's grandfather food parcels and tobacco, and got dozens of letters of thanks back in return from the front line. So this is the archive room at the Mildmay Club, where everything that they found relating to World War I is kept, including that correspondence to Ralph Manley, the club secretary, and a picture of the man himself. But Ralph Manley didn't seem to exist in any official records. It was time to call in the experts.
The Mildmay Club asked us to get involved because they really wanted to find out more about him. They got these fantastic letters and he was so involved in the club, but nobody could find anything about him apart from a newspaper article that kind of described him a little bit. With the address that he'd got in an electoral roll, looking in census records, suddenly found this man living at the same address, doing the same job, with the same birthplace, the same age, but a totally different name.
I'm the great-grandson of the legendary Ralph Manley.
also known as Henry Dury.
Kay knew his great-grandfather by his given name, Henry Dury, and the mystery of why he chose to use another name at the club has never been solved. But his legendary status at the club lives on.
So that we should actually have a relative who did his bit for the forces overseas, I find particularly, I say, gratifying. Yeah. I'm proud of it.
You might end up becoming a member.
You never know. If the drinks are cheap, I probably will.
Anna O'Neill, BBC London.
What a terrific story and find that is. Now let's get a look at the weather forecast with Jennifer, who's got the weekend forecast for us.
Thank you very much, Assad. We are expecting there to be some fairly unsettled weather this weekend. So whether it's firework displays or trick-or-treating, you might just want to have that umbrella on standby. It's been quite grey out there today. We have seen some hefty downpours as well. And over the course of the next couple of days, that will still be the case. We're looking at an unsettled picture of weather. You can see that from the pressure chart. Whenever you see the white lines so tight together, indicates it's going to be windy. And of course, weather fronts bringing those outbreaks of rain. Now, for the rest of this evening and overnight, you can see that we are expecting some further outbreaks of rain. Some of that will be heavy, possibly even thundery. Some heavy downpours indicated by the greens in that. But it will be clearing away by the time we get to tomorrow morning. Still blustery overnight with strong gusts of wind and temperatures down to around 11 or 12 degrees. So a mild start to Saturday morning, quite a blustery start, but a fair amount of dry weather actually during the morning tomorrow. There will be some showers developing into the afternoon, but it won't be quite as wet as it has been today in places, and still a mild day, temperatures 13 to 15 degrees. Now the showers will start to get going again as we head through Saturday night for a time, but then the wind is starting to ease down. The showers should start to fade away. Still some coming through as we head into Sunday morning though. Those temperatures colder Saturday night into Sunday, 5 to 7 degrees Celsius. So on Sunday, you may well wake up to some quite heavy rain actually, but it will be clearing away eastwards fairly quickly. So by the time we get to mid-morning, it should be dry. There may even be some spells of sunshine and that wind will be easing down too. So Sunday, not really a bad looking day. It will be feeling cooler though. Temperatures on Sunday afternoon, 10 to 12 degrees Celsius. And looking ahead into the start of next week, we've still got plenty of isobars on the chart, so it's going to be staying quite unsettled, staying quite changeable into Monday and Tuesday with some further spells of rain. Assad.
Yeah, very mixed, Jennifer. Thanks very much for the forecast. Well, that's it for now. Frankie will be here with our late news at 10:30. At the same time, Joanne Good will be on your local BBC radio station, bringing you a superb listen as she does every week. I'll be back with our weekend news tomorrow afternoon at 5:40. For now, do enjoy your Halloween night. Good night.